Well, let's go into the lineup and Spurs against Aston Villa at Villa Park. Ange has done his press conference early this morning, so let's get into what the team news is in terms of the injuries.
We've got even more players out on Sunday than we did on Thursday. So we've got Romero still remains out. Odegaard still remains out, probably coming back. He's probably coming back kind of for the Man United game or beyond that. Vicario, he's been training. Is there a slight chance he plays? He didn't mention him in his press conference, so we're going to say he's probably still a major doubt. Doggy, he's aiming for the Man United game. Timo Werner, he's aiming for past Man United game. James Maddison, he's aiming for next week. Pape Sarr is available, I believe, so I don't think he's injured. Dominic Solanke, he is out until March. Brennan Johnson, he's going to be out until the Man United game. Van der Ven, he's all of a sudden said he's going to be a slower burner for some reason. So whatever that means, is he confirming he's re-injured himself? That's not a great situation. Radu Dragusin has obviously done his ACL. He's out for the whole season. Now Richarlison has done his calf injury, so he is going to be unavailable for the foreseeable future. That he said there's no injured players that are going to be available for Sunday that weren't available on Thursday. And on top of that, Dane Scarlett, who's not on the graphic, he is ineligible because he is cup tied, having played in the cup.
It's not what Ange said in the press conference.
Yeah, Ange said he's available, but I don't know if he's got the memo yet. But pretty sure he's cup tied because he did play for Oxford and got an assist in the last round. So I'm pretty sure he's unavailable. So even the one striker we do have back, we can't play him. So yeah, it's not pretty reading. Maybe there'll be a surprise. Maybe Vicario will come in. We'll have to wait and see on Sunday.
I don't think he will because Ange says none of the players that weren't available for this game are going to be available for that game. So yeah. I think Kinski does come straight back into goal.
Well, I guess we'll start with Kinski then.
We'll start with Kinski, yeah. Kinski in goal.
Yeah, and big game for him, obviously, because he had a bit of a poor show against Liverpool. Hopefully, it won't be as intense, the atmosphere and all these different things. But yeah, we think Kinski probably retains his place.
Moving on to right back, I think Pedro Porro comes back into the frame. Surprise exclusion at Anfield, and yeah, we're going to need him in this game and probably do him the world of good to have a rest. Yeah, potentially up against Rashford in this game, but I've seen him have some good games against Rashford, to be fair. So yeah, I think the rest would have done a bit of good. Played half an hour, but yeah, we're going to need him back in the team, I think. Yeah, and right centre back off the back of one of the only players I thought showed something about him in the game at Anfield is Kevin Danso. Yeah, and interesting enough, I just got seen confirmed by Ollie Watkins is out for the game. Oh really?
Yeah, so that's a positive.
No Watkins, no Duran.
No Watkins. Yeah, Duran's obviously been sold. So
who do you reckon starts up front for them?
Good question. Whoever it is not going to be the physical battle that Watkins would have been. So hopefully Danso has a bit of an easier ride in this one than he would have had.
Maybe Rashford up front.
Whoever it is, Danso will back himself to have the physical advantage there, so that's good news.
Is he out for a while, Watkins?
Not sure. He just said he's not going to be available on Sunday.
Left centre back, I think Ben Davies comes straight back in. I mean, there is a case maybe Archie Gray, but I do think it will be Ben Davies.
Yeah, I think Davies starts again. Two of our natural centre-backs. We know that Archie Gray, as much as he's stepped in well, is not a natural one. And Van der Ven, Romero, Dragusin still injured going into this game. So I think Danso and Davies is going to start. And I just think if they can start to build some sort of relationship on the pitch, I think it's best to just keep them together.
Left back, I think it will be Jed Spence. Great performance at Anfield. He's been one of the players that have been so consistent over this period, and yeah, he's been our best player over the last month or so. So he has to play.
I agree. The only other thing I would consider is putting Spence on the right and Gray on the left and keeping Porro out. But I think he's going to want Porro back in. So Spence stays on the left. Probably potentially up against Leon Bailey or maybe Daniel Marlon, potentially even who they signed in January. So whoever he comes against, probably going to be a tricky customer. But Spence, I think, has done well up against whoever wing he's faced. So trust in Spence.
The midfield is an interesting one because obviously Bentancur, Bissouma, and Sarr all played poorly. We're not putting Gray in the back line. Do you reckon Gray could play in midfield?
I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I would like that. I think one player who I think probably comes into midfield is Bergvall. I think he probably comes in one of the 8s.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So the other 2 positions is out of Sarr, Basuma, Bentancur and Gray. We want 2 of those.
I think it will be Gray and Bentancur.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
That's what I'm feeling. Maybe Gray in the 8 or Gray in the 6.
I think
and Bentancur in the 6.
I think probably a double pivot of Gray and Bentancur.
So we're going to go. We'll put Bentancur there in the middle, and we're going to put Gray in midfield. I think, maybe the fact that he started against Liverpool just maybe is more the fact maybe we saw it as him dropping Porro, but maybe it was the fact that he just wanted to keep Gray in the team. Maybe that's why he did it. And if that is the case, maybe there's a chance he comes in midfield. But obviously Villa, with Kamara, I think is Onana injured, but apparently, so I've just read as well, Barkley's injured. If it's going to be like Kamara and Onana, very, very physical midfield players. So, there's also a case of does he want to put Gray into that situation? But I wouldn't mind seeing Gray start in the middle because I think it's time we see him in his natural position.
Yeah, so in their last game, Aston Villa, they played a double pivot of Tielemans and Bogard. Lamare Bogard, a 21-year-old.
Was Onana on the bench? Because he might be injured. Maybe he's injured.
Onana, he came on at half-time.
So I actually do think Tielemans will probably start. Maybe it'll be Tielemans and Kamara.
Well, Onana came on at half-time, which suggests he's fit.
It could be either. Maybe it could be Tielemans, Kamara, and Onana. It could be 3 of them. It's a big shot. So does that midfield have the required physicality? I mean, Sarr, Basuma aren't exactly showing much right now. So I would like to see Archie Gray playing in midfield. But again, we're playing 2 18-year-olds in midfield. Is that too much? I guess there's some decisions.
Can't be any worse than the midfield that we saw on last night.
I think the one who definitely start with Bergvall. I've got a feeling though if he does start Bergvall, is he going to want to start Gray next to him? I don't know. Maybe he'll want Sarr or Basuma.
Well, I think that's what we're going for anyway. Let's go for this one and let's just hope it is that. But right-hand side of the attack, Dejan Kulusevski. I mean, in an ideal world, I'd like to see him get a rest, but there's no rest for the wicked in these situations. I mean, Kulusevski's clearly running on empty. He was barely able to put in a successful duel on Thursday night. But, yeah, let's hope he can just muster up something.
Yeah, up against, I think, going to be Luka Dean on that side. Hopefully he can get some sort of advantage against him. But, he's clearly just struggling at the moment. The cavalry is coming, but it's going to be another week. So maybe next week against United, he can have a bit of a rest. Or to be fair, he's going to have a week break. So maybe he can play against United. But, he's going to have to put in another performance, I think. Yeah,
we say the cavalry is coming, but they're coming back. But who knows when they're going to be back to actual full fitness.
Yeah, they're probably on the bench or something, yeah.
Left-hand side of the attack, we're going to go for Son Heung-min. Needs to show more than what he showed at Anfield, but the game prior to that, a couple of games prior to that, he was looking sharp and looking good, and he usually does well against Villa as well, so let's hope.
A lot of people, though, calling for more to start, potentially.
I wouldn't mind it. Because I think Son does need a bit of a rest. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind more starting this game, but I do think it will be Sonny.
Yeah, I think we're going to need him again, and we're going to need him in the form he was before this game at Anfield, so... Yeah, I think Son starts. I think Son will start. And we are also going for a first start for
MATHYS TEL.
MATHYS TEL in the forward line. What was interesting I saw at Anfield was he came on initially at number 9, and I think like halfway through or late in the game he moved to the left and Son went up front. So I wonder if there'll be some tinkering there and maybe some fluidity.
Really? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind fluidity, but I don't want to see Son in the 9. I just don't think I think he's been pretty poor there this season. Stick him on the left, get him in those areas which we know Son can hurt the opposition. And in the last couple of games where he's looked really dangerous has been out on the left. So, and if TEL, he says, and people in Germany will say his favourite position is in the 9. So let's keep it that way.
All right, so we'll do Son, Son on the left and TEL in the 9. Yeah. And let's see how he does. I'm interested to see how he does from the start. I saw flashes in the first game, but I think he will come in. I guess it's a weird one with that front three because you look at that front three, there could be some fluidity there. Could we see Decky in the 9 with TEL out on the right? Could we see Son on the up front and TEL out on the left?
You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing Decky in the 9, but the reason why I would decide against it is because he's just doesn't have that physical edge at the moment, Decky, and what he looked at so good at is in the 9 when he did play there was how physical he was and how he was able to hold up the ball and bring others into play. And I think with Decky in his current state, I don't know if he'll be able to do that.
Yeah, it's a fair point. But should have some more pace up front with TEL there. You know, he'll probably be the quickest attacker that we have forward line in terms of compared to Slanky and Richarlison. And one thing that Villa do is they do play a fairly aggressive high line, especially at home. So maybe TEL could really help catch him out.
Yeah, let's hope so. But time will tell. Let's get into let's go through the lineup again. So it's Kinski in goal, Pedro Porro right back, Jed Spence left back, Ben Davis and Danso in the centre back pairing, with Ben Tancourt and Archie Gray in the double pivot, with Bergvall in the attacking position, with Kulusevski on the right, Sonny on the left, and MATHYS TEL up front. MATHYS TEL as the number 9. So I say two debutants, but Danso played against Liverpool and TEL also did, but TEL only came on. So a first start for TEL, second start for Danso, and let's hope we can just muster up something and stay in this competition.
All right, big game on Sunday.
So that is your predicted lineup for Aston Villa. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Would you go with this lineup